Okay. God. You know, this Stream Deck, it was supposed to be a solution to all my problems, and it was working so well for so long, and now it just breaks every time in between streams. And I don't know what I did to break it, you know, like, honestly, I feel like just putting my computer to sleep breaks it. Oh yeah, Splatfest. So we were on team fucking Let It All Burn, which were... Okay, you know, that makes sense. Bucket list team makes sense. Oh wow, that's actually... We got second place in every category, but wow. Team Bucket List won 2 of them. Holy shit. Holy crap! Frey actually won one! I didn't think that was possible. Because, you know, it's been a long time since Frey... It's been over a year. It's all... I want to say it's... Is it next month? It was either in like a month or 2. Frey would have been at 2 years. Or a year and a half without a Splatfest. I think it's probably been like... It would have been next month. In June. It would have been a year and a half. Because the last Splatfest Frey won was in... Oh god, we're not doing Clan Blitz. Fuck that. The last Splatfest Frey won was in January of 2023. So it was a year in January. So now that it's May, yeah, it would have been a little under that. That's wild. That is glad she won one. I still think a year plus without a victory is all the proof I need to be like, yeah, no, the triple Splatfest experiment failed. Right? Like American democracy. I mean, God, American democracy has a less of a failure rate. It is only, what, like 8%? Which is still way higher than it should be. Like, a democracy that fails to elect somebody... the most popular candidate 8 times, or no, it's been 5 times, but like 8% of the time, that's a failed democracy right there. Okay, and that's not even the biggest problem. Like that's small potatoes because the system was designed to fail. Like, yeah, but no, the Supreme Court has to summon the ghost of Thomas Jefferson to decide if he would have agreed with something when he wrote the fucking thing 200 plus years ago. Because that's how we've decided the Supreme Court works nowadays. It's all fucking voodoo and corruption. Yep, it's all just fucking voodoo and corruption. We're so fucked. This country's fucking cooked. And that's not even taking into account Biden just fucking everything up. Not doing right a single policy that would get him reelected. Fucking up every policy that people even slightly like. He's so fucking cooked. He's so fucking cooked. And that means Trump's gonna win. Even Trump could win this thing and be in jail. That's kind of the fucking wall we're looking at. Is that Trump could be in jail, win the election, because Biden's just fucking this up so hard. And boom, he's the president, and he can just pardon himself out of jail. Like, there's a non-zero chance that happens. I'm not going to tell you the booking odds, but it's definitely not zero. Or, of course, you know, the Supreme Court could rule that Biden can assassinate Trump at any point, and it's just a question of will he do it? Because, like, legitimately, they could at any moment say, like, yep, we've deliberated, we think Trump is innocent, and that means that, yes, Biden could assassinate Trump, no questions asked. No, no, seriously. That is one of the Supreme Court cases right now. But we gotta ask the ghost of Thomas Jefferson. What would Thomas Jefferson say? Oh my god, even though this amendment was written like 60 years after his death, we have to ask his ghost. And the ghost of John Madison. James Madison? We gotta ask the ghost of fucking George Washington. Ooh, spooky. Maybe the crystal ball will tell us. Because that's seriously how the Supreme Court's run nowadays. I would say it's the Wizard of Oz, but honestly I have more respect for the Wizard. Because he may have been a sham, but at least he wasn't taking bribes. Okay. What are we actually talking about today? Can we get back away from politics, please? Right. I don't want to think about the end of the country as we're coming up to the America series finale. So we got 3 small stories. Yeah, I'd say they're small stories. Because, yeah, I don't really, whatever. We have some WIBE. It's all books. It's all books this week. I didn't fucking do anything else. I literally just read 2 books. Well, okay, I listened to one and I did read the other. I was going to buy the other to read, and then I found out it was free on Audible, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just listen to it instead. Oh, we're in closeout. Okay. Hopefully we'll get to 69 tonight. So yeah, I think that's all we have. Like, I'm sure there's other shit. I can't think of it. I've got no idea. So yeah, let's just go with that. Oh, and we do have Marbles, which I have not watched any Marbles this week, so we're just going to watch them all. Alright, I have not seen a single race this week, so we're just going to watch it and see how it turns out. My team might be eliminated. Or close to it anyways, because again, there's like 20 races left. So I guess let's get into it. So, our first short story is more, it's an announcement of announcements. Because E3 is in like 2-3 weeks. Yeah, E3 is, or Summer Games Fest is right around the corner. Xbox's show is on the 9th. Which Xbox did come out and reveal that, hey, guess what? That Call of Duty Black Ops that we were talking about, it is Black Ops 6. My first thought was, wait, what the fuck happened to Black Ops 5? Because I remember Black Ops 4, because it didn't use Roman numerals. Right? It instead had just 4 fucking tally marks. And I was like, wait, what? And then so when everyone was talking about Black Ops 6, I was like, wait, did we just skip 5? No, I guess Black Ops, they did the weird thing, which I'm not going to call it the Mario Kart thing of like doing numbers, then not doing numbers, then doing numbers again. But I don't know what other series works like that. I'm sure there is one. Is it the Rambo series that goes First Blood, Rambo, and then Rambo 3? Is that the series I'm thinking of? Either way, they went from I guess the 5th Black Ops game was Black Ops Cold War. So it was Black Ops 5, it was just called Cold War. So that means it doesn't count anymore. Or that means it counts as 5, and now they're just moving on to the next one. Okay. Sure. If that's what they're doing, guess what? I don't care. What I do care about is Devolver Digital. Right? Devolver Digital is usually the best E3 showcase every year. Okay, Summer Games Fest showcase. Right, they're usually the best one. They get it. They make good jokes. They do some weird shit that I always love. they're usually they're usually ahead of the curve on things. Not always. Like, I feel like they were kind of behind when they did loot box cryptocurrency. I was like, okay, maybe you're like a year too late on this. And then, but they were fucking on the forefront. And the loot box coin was fine. Right? I'm saying they might have been a little late to that. But when you only do one of these a year, right, there's only so much you can do. But they got perfectly. For, I think, 2 years ago, they did NFTs. And it was like right as all the NFT shit, the Bored Apes was kicking off. And it was like, oh yeah, people are stupid. And they did NFTs and they nailed it. And it was really funny. And then last year's was kind of weird. They did the whole Bulby thing. And based on the trailer for this year, it looks like they're doing Bulby again. Like the weird, like, fucking... Is it a Weevil? Whatever the weird mascot is that, you know, ate somebody last year. I'm pretty sure it ate somebody. That sounds like something they would do. Yeah, we know Bulby's coming back. And other than that, we don't know anything, you know. But it's Devolver. I trust them. They have done this show over and over again. And they kill it every year, right? Even in their weaker years. They still fucking kill it. Oh, I just realized we're wearing a really bad shirt. Yeesh, yeah, I should change that. So yeah, I have full faith. Anything I want to see from Devolver, because, you know, even though they do dumb shit, they usually do have some games in there. I would love a release date for the Plucky Squire. You know, that's one of the most anticipated games of the year for many people. I would love a release date for that. I don't know what other games they have, because I think Pepper Grinder came out. I think Wizard with a Gun came out. I don't know, where was... What the fuck was the Devolver Delayed Direct? For... Delayed... Direct... Please just give me like a single image that has this entire thing on it. I know Devolver delayed a bunch of games last year. The only one, again, the only two I remember were Pepper Grinder, which seemed really interesting and came out and I have not played. And then, of course, Plucky Squire, which is one of the most anticipated games of the year. That I'm sure is going to be fantastic, and it'll release when it does. Come on, give me a fucking... I know there was at least one other thing where I was like, oh, I'm excited for that. Oh, here's the image. Plucky Squire. Angerfoot I didn't really care about. Skate Story looks interesting. I kind of hope it's like a Sayonara Wild Hearts style game. Because I love Sayonara Wild Hearts. It's fantastic. So I'd love to see more of that. And then Stick It to the Man. Admittedly, I do not remember what that one is, but... Stick It to the Man. Is that a sticky... There's a game with a sticky hand that I swear was called Stick It to the Man. But that may not have been it. I can't remember. Either way, you know, it's Devolver. They're gonna do something funny. You know, I don't know what they're gonna tackle this year. I have no guesses. No, I would say that my guess would be AI, but I'm pretty sure they did AI last year. Right, as part of the whole Bulby 2.0 or whatever the fuck. Volvi? Whatever the thing was called. They made an AI that creates video games. They were kind of ahead of the curve on that one, I guess. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be that one. I think it's safe. Or that one's, you know, not going to happen again. But you never know, right? They could totally do more AI video games. Trust me, nothing has changed since then. I don't know, I have full faith in Devolver. That's all I'll say. They have proved time and time again that they know what they're doing. I just don't know. The only other thing I could see them totally doing is making jokes about all the layoffs. Like, I could see them doing a bit about how Devolver, right, is announcing reverse layoffs, where instead of laying off 1,000 people, they're going to be hiring 1,000 people, or, you know, some shit like that. You know, I could see them doing that, because the game industry has laid off thousands of people this year. It's definitely over 10,000 people have been laid off, and just since January. So I think that would be a very easy thing for them to tackle. I could totally see them doing something like that, but you never know. Next up, Nintendo. No Nintendo Switch news. I know there was a story last week or 2 weeks ago that I kind of skipped over that had something to do with Nintendo showing off a 4K port of Breath of the Wild as like a Switch 2 demo, and there were all these rumors about it, and you know, people joking that like, oh, Nintendo's gonna pull a fucking Last of Us and remake Breath of the Wild and charge us another $70 instead of just offering it as like a $10 upgrade. And honestly, knowing Nintendo, it could go either way. It could go either way. That's totally a Nintendo thing to do. But the story this week comes from... Oh, it just comes straight up from Nintendo. So it's Nintendo has acquired Shiver Entertainment from Embracer. Shiver's focus will remain the same, continuing commissions for ports and developed software for multiple platforms, including Nintendo Switch. Shiver recently worked on porting and developing Hogwarts Legacy and Mortal Kombat 1. So yeah, Nintendo doesn't really acquire studios on that all that often. Like, in the past, 20 years, the only ones I can think of were Monolith Soft, which they acquired in 2007, and I want to say Mercury Steam, which they acquired 2 or 3 years ago now. I think it was Mercury Steam, Mercury Soft, whatever, the studio that makes the Metro, that made Samus Returns. They worked on Metroid Dread, right? That studio, they acquired them. And I literally think that's it. Like, Nintendo doesn't really acquire studios other than those two. I don't even think they own, Retro or F-Zero, or not F-Zero, or Next Level, right? Both of those studios that are very, prolific for Nintendo. No, I'm pretty sure those studios are still independent. Because Nintendo doesn't really acquire studios like that. Like, we see Xbox doing it all the time, and eventually Xbox is going to buy up a studio that's going to fuck over Nintendo. That, I would much rather see Nintendo acquire, like fucking Sega or Yacht Club or... God, even Konami. God, even fucking Ubisoft I'd rather see Nintendo acquire. Right? I think Nintendo could go in and fix Ubisoft. I don't think Microsoft can go in and fix Activision Blizzard. But I think Nintendo could go in and fix Ubisoft. They're both fucking rotten to the core, but what else? What else is gonna happen? Not that Nintendo, again, would ever do something like that. That's not really their move. So yeah, this is kind of surprising, right? Clearly they see something in this studio that, again, it could just be a port studio. This studio will probably just stay as a support studio, Maybe Nintendo will have an in-house port studio that helps third-party companies port over their games. Because, right, Nintendo, there's been some good port companies out there. The example I always bring up is Panic Button. Panic Button ported Doom 2016 over to Switch, and they did a phenomenal job. I don't remember which studio ported The Witcher 3 over to Switch, but I also stand by they did a very good job on that. So, yeah, if they see a lot of potential in Shiver Entertainment... And they're like, oh yeah, they're worth inquiring from Embracer. Again, a company that I'm pretty sure has also laid off a bunch of people this year. Maybe Nintendo will, just keep them as a third, be like, hey, third parties, are you porting your game over to Switch? Well, hey, we have this studio that's here to help out with that. Just kind of, I could see them staying as a support studio to help out third party games. I think that's not a terrible idea. right? Especially if they have tools to help optimize games for Switch 2, right? To make sure that it can run on lesser hardware. Yeah, sure, that makes sense in my head. I watched a video this week, explaining all the different in-house Nintendo studios, and that was really interesting. Because, like, I knew about the different EDP groups, right? There were 10 EDP groups, and each different group works on different games. And, like, I had heard about that, right? Like, I knew the team that did Animal Crossing also does Splatoon, right? I want to say it's EDP, like, 5 or 6 that does two things. They do Animal Crossing and they do Splatoon. There's an EDP team that just does Zelda, which I think is EDP, like, 1. There's an EDP team that does, just Mario games, right? Just the 3D Mario games. And, like, I'd heard of them. I'd also heard of, is it NTS, Nintendo, NOA, whichever the American studio is that did Wave Race, and then recently did the Mario and Donkey Kong remake. Right? Like, I knew about them. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I've heard about the different EDP groups, but I'd never actually known what each one did. So listening to it, it was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, right? You had, like, EDP4 that did the casual games. And I was like, okay, right, seeing what gets grouped together, right? Like, I think it's EDP10 that did Mario Wonder, but they also did Pikmin 4. Right? EDP10 kind of feels like, oh, that's Miyamoto's group. Because, you know, he fucking... I know Miyamoto didn't direct either of those games, technically. I don't think, anyways. Yeah, it's just... That was an interesting video, and that made me think of this. Because, yeah, they bring up, like, studios like that, like HAL Laboratories and Monolith, that are, like, they work with Nintendo, but they're not part of the EDP group. And then, of course, there was the book I was reading as well that also kind of specifically mentioned Monolith Soft, and how, right, Iwata took a risk to buy Monolith Soft, and that proved successful almost immediately. Right, and Monolith Soft has done a lot of good for, you know, Zelda, I want to say Pikmin, and definitely Pokemon. I know they helped out with that one. But Zelda especially, they did a lot of good work. And that's, of course, not even talking about their own games, which have been amazing. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, just another studio. Next up, our next story. So there was a report that came out that, you know, Astro-Bot's Playroom and Astro-Bot's Rescue Mission, and I think there's a third one, like Astro-Bot's Arcade or something like that. So, right, yeah, this comes from D-Labs? D-E-A Labs magazine? No. So basically there's a rumor that we're getting another Astro's Playroom. Or, you know, another Astro-Bot game. A new Astro-Bot game is expected to be announced within the next 15 days, according to DA Labs' Bill Kuhn. Part of the game is set in a desert environment, and one of the new characters is a fennec fox in the form of a robot. Seemingly for PS5, not PSVR 2. So, Astro-Bot's Playroom, which was the pack-in title on the PS5, I thought was a really impressive game. Like, it wasn't anything super special, you know, it was a pack-in game that was basically just an extended tech demo. But it was a really fun tech demo. It's honestly the best, like, pack-in tech demo I have seen since Wii Sports. It's not as good as Wii Sports, because Wii Sports is crazy good. But no, Astro-Bot's Playroom, I really enjoyed. It was really fun. I think it made my top 10 games of the year. And then Astro-Bot's Rescue Mission was like a PSVR game for the original PSVR that I really enjoyed. I never beat it. I didn't even play that much of it. I only played like a level or two. I wish we had gotten more of that game. Or I wish it had been ported over to PSVR 2. Because I never beat it on the original PSVR, but if they ported it over to PSVR 2, I definitely would have checked it out again. Because I don't know, booting up the PS5 is such a pain in the ass, or the PS4 nowadays, is such a pain in the ass. So I haven't done it in a long time. Yeah, no, I would love to see that port. But a new Astro-Bot game, yeah, they're very fun, right? They're very fun, creative games. If you have a PS5, you have probably checked out Astro-Bot's Playroom. Because again, it's a super simple game that you can 100% in like 2 hours. But it's a really fun 2 hours. And I think it expertly shows off the PS5's features, you know, the haptic controllers, the HD rumble, the adaptive triggers. All that stuff is shown off really well in Astro-Bot's Playroom. So yeah. Yeah, the next 15 days, again, I could totally see PlayStation doing a state of play in the next 2 weeks, because, hey, guess what? E3 is in 2 weeks. And while I know PlayStation probably wouldn't want a showcase the same week as Xbox, I could see them doing one, like, next week in the middle of March. Or at the very end here of May. Why did I say March? Right, I could see it on, like, Monday or Tuesday. On Tuesday, because Monday's Memorial Day. PlayStation announcing, hey guys, guess what? We're doing a state of play on this Thursday, the 30th. That's a very realistic thing for PlayStation to do. I could totally see that happening. So yeah. Of course, you know, I could also... normally, I would have guessed they would have waited. So, right, if Microsoft Showcase is on the 9th, I would have assumed PlayStation's would be on, like, the 16th. And then Nintendo's is on the... What would that be? The 22nd? Something like that. My dates are probably a little off. Oh, 23rd. Okay, yeah. The 16th and the 23rd. So yeah, I could realistically see that happening. Of course, you know, Nintendo usually does showcases on like a Tuesday. So I could see Nintendo's showcase being closer to like the 26th. Or the 20... Somewhere between the 25th and the 27th. I could see PlayStation's being on the 20th or the 13th. I don't know. Usually, in recent years... I know 1 year is not a statistic, right? 1 year is not a data point. It's not a statistic. But still, in recent year, singular, right? Nintendo usually gives a bit of leeway, right? PlayStation and Nintendo give a bit of leeway between each other. Usually of about a week. So yeah. Yeah, the new Astro-Bot, I love that stupid robot, man. They're really cute, they're really fun platformers. They're the closest Sony has come to making a Mario game since Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot 3? So, yeah. Since Jumping Frog on the PS2, or PS1, I mean. Oh, Naughty Dog did announce that they're making a new game, that they're working on their next game. It's going to be a big deal. I don't know. I saw the article had like Neil Druckmann saying like, "Oh, this is going to be a revolutionary thing," and then he came back and he like refuted that revolutionary comment. He was like, "No, that's not what I meant. So don't hype it up that bad. This ain't a fucking Sean Murray game." I love that tweet from what was it? It was either Summer Games Fest last year or the Game Awards, where Sean Murray showed off his new game, and people were like, "Sean Murray, you're already promising too much. Stop it. Stop before it's too late." And he's just like, "First time here, huh?" Because that's fucking funny. Ah, shit. I was just trying to use that to recover some ink. But I guess that's all I got to say about that. Not a PSVR 2 as I'm fine with. PSVR 2 is an okay piece of hardware. PlayStation definitely need more game on it. But, And they lost that stupid Batman game because Facebook's doing it. I mean, that game's not going to be good because the last Batman VR game wasn't good. But, like, fuck, man, really? Alright, so let's get into WIBE. So, I have not watched any TV shows. I have not watched any movies. I want to go see Mad Max. I do. Like, genuinely, like, I wanted to see the Fall Guys. I never got around to it. I do not give a shit about Garfield. I had a chance to go see Garfield early, and I was just like, I cannot be bothered. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't care. And nothing else. Right, the Fall Guys is already on the digital. So, like, fuck everything, you know? But, yeah, I want to go see Mad Max. That one I will actually probably get around to. I will probably in the next week or so get around to Mad Max. I don't know. It's been a very busy... The rest of my May is super busy. But once June gets... That first week of June, things kind of calm down a little bit. And then they immediately kick up again. Like the second week of June. But I'll take that brief little respite, you know? So I didn't watch any movies. TV shows, I didn't watch anything. I do want to briefly mention the Try Guy stuff. So I think I've talked about this on stream. I can't remember if now, then I guess this is the first time I'm talking about it. I was not really a Try Guys fan. Okay, like, I'd heard of them before, specifically back when they were working at BuzzFeed. College Humor did a video making fun of them called the Give It a Whirl Fuckers. And they did like one or two of those. And those are funny videos, you know, the Give It a Whirl Fuckers are pretty... I want to say there was one where they tried to like eat Japanese toys instead of Japanese candy. That was probably a video just making fun of BuzzFeed in general. But I know College Humor now Dropout made fun of BuzzFeed a lot. And Try Guys fell under that. But that was kind of all I knew about them. I'd never actually watched any of their stuff. I heard about all the Ned stuff when it was going on, right? The SNL stuff. I heard about all that, but I had no context. Never really cared about the Try Guys until, like, late last year, maybe early this year. They, Keith's Eat the Menu series did a video on the Cheesecake Factory, eating everything from the Cheesecake Factory menu. Now, I know about the legendary Cheesecake Factory menu with over 1,000 items. And I was like, that sounds like a very fun idea for a video. Yeah, sign me up for that, why don't you? So yeah, I was all aboard Eat the Menu Cheesecake Factory. It also helped that Grant O'Brien from formerly College Humor, now Dropout, was also in that episode. I think he was in the third part, because it was a 3-part series. So I really enjoyed that video, and from there, I started watching Eat the Menu. I've seen a bunch of them now. I started watching Without a Recipe, also very good and very funny. And then I've recently been watching Phoning It In, which is also... And I've seen a bunch of other stuff along the way, right? Just a bunch of other random stuff. Most of it, outside of, like, the series stuff, like, you know, Eat the Menu or Without a Recipe, most of the videos I've seen are within the past year. Right, like, I haven't seen that many videos from them that are, like, over a year old, unless it's from one of those two series. So, right, I didn't know much about, right, but, you know, I'm learning. And yes, they are super entertaining. I know he's now officially a member, but he's more of a recent member, Johnny Cakes. I do remember, because we talked about the first season of Is It Cake on this show. Back in season 3, probably. And I was like, you know, it was fine. For a Netflix show that I could put on while I'm cooking dinner, it was a fine show. And yeah, I still kind of stand by that, right? I haven't seen season 3 of that, but Johnny Cakes was on the first season. He was on a few episodes of Without a Recipe. He's been on a bunch of episodes of Phoning It In. He's so fucking good, man. He's super entertaining. He's super funny. I'm glad he's now an official member. Because the Try Guys put out 2 announcements. The first one is that they're launching a streaming service called Second Try. I don't entirely love the name. Like, I get the point, right? Second Try is it's a play on their previous name. That's fine. I just don't feel like it's as good of a name, right? Like, but, you know, whatever, fuck it, I'll get used to it. So, of course, just a few weeks ago, there was that whole Watcher controversy, which when the whole Watcher thing happened, I will be honest, I had never heard of Watcher before. But, of course, at the same time all the Watcher stuff was happening, guess what? Warner Brothers closed down Rooster Teeth, which is now officially a dead company. I think they took down the website, roosterteeth.com, on, like, May 10th. Yeah, Rooster Teeth is dead. All the employees have been fired and moved on to, like, new stuff. So yeah, you know, with all that stuff, I bet there was behind the scenes some hesitation about doing this. But, you know, I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, well, Watcher fucked up for trying to make a streaming service. Why don't they just make a Patreon? But I get why you wouldn't want to make a Patreon. That, especially because probably by making your own streaming service, you're keeping it all in-house. And you're not having to pay Patreon more money. Right? Because whenever you make like a Patreon, you're having to split some of that money with Patreon. Where if you make your own streaming service, like Dropout, like Nebula, I guess, kind of. Right? I get it. I get it. Admittedly, I do not know how much the Watcher thing costs. This Try Guys Second Try costs $5 a month. Or I think you can get a whole year for like $40. At least within the first week. And I was like, you know, I think I was paying more for Rooster Teeth first. I think I pay $1 more for Dropout. So $5, you know, that's basically the standard fee. I know standard Patreon fees tend to be like $2, right? Like, I know, I don't, okay, admittedly, I don't know much about Patreon. I don't use it that much. So I couldn't even tell you what the standard fee is. But, right, there is this element of wanting to keep things in-house on a platform you can control. But this is effectively just a Patreon with extra steps. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I'll be honest, Watcher didn't fail because of their making a streaming service. They failed, one, because they were Watcher, and two, because they were going to pull all their stuff off YouTube. But what all these other streaming services have learned is you don't do that, right? College Humor, none of their videos were taken off YouTube. In fact, they've put a bunch of them on YouTube for free. Some of the first seasons of Dimension 20 were free on YouTube. I don't know if they still put Dimension 20 stuff on YouTube, besides for, like, clips and whatnot. Right? And even, like, even though they're not posting, like, full episodes on YouTube, like, months later, they still post clips from, you know, Dropout, or from Make Some Noise, from Dimension 20, from Game Changer. I see clips every week, right? They're posting clips there. So you gotta, right? You can't just abandon the previous platform for your new platform. You have to find balance. And it's clear that this video was took the Watcher thing into account, because they bring up multiple, like 3 times in the video. They say, hey, we are not removing anything from YouTube. It's more that, like, YouTube videos, right, are, like, you get them early now. Sometimes a lot earlier, but you'll now get stuff earlier on Second Try. Right? They're very clearly going for more the Dropout model. And, I mean, and to be fair, Rooster Teeth did something similar at one point. I know sometime in the past, like, 2 or 3 years, I know Rooster Teeth's model switched from, hey, instead of giving you videos like weeks, or there was a period of time, specifically with shows like Minecraft, Trouble in Terrorist Town, GTA 5, where they were posting videos a week early. So basically, right, the video would be posted on first, then a week later it would come to YouTube. Basically, they were always a week behind. And, like, that was a model that, you know, it worked for Rooster Teeth for a while, but I know they eventually just transitioned to 48 hours. It might have even been 24 hours, but I'm pretty sure it was 48 hours. So, like, you'd get the new GTA 5 video on Saturday, and then it would come to YouTube on Monday. Right? That eventually became the pattern for a while. And that kinda, at least at the moment, like, you can tell the Try Guys are doing some stuff like that. Like the new episode of Phoning It In for the season finale. It's on their website, Second Try, right now. But it'll be coming to the streaming service, right? It'll be coming to YouTube probably either today or yesterday. I don't know. I'll be honest, with all this said about the streaming services, even though, again, I've only been supporting the Try Guys for, like, probably, like, 6 months. If not less time than that. I would not be surprised if it was less time than that. I actually did subscribe to this, service. I don't know if I'll keep it forever. But, you know, 20% off for the first, like, for the original subscription. I was like, you know, I think it was like $3. You know, $3 for a starting subscription? Yeah, sure, I'll take a month. If I'm using it, then yeah, sure. If I don't, then, you know, I don't. Right? It's like Nebula. I subscribed to Nebula. I used it for a little bit. And then when I stopped using it, I just unsubscribed from it because I just stopped using it. And I think I got that one through like a Black Friday sale or something. Where I was like, yeah, I'll use this for a little bit. I did. I watched a bunch of stuff. It was good. And I was like, I'm not using it. Right? Because the services like Netflix are designed on the model that you'll just keep paying and forget to unsubscribe. And that's why, and a lot of streaming services are designed like that. Like, that's why Invincible, right, Season 2 was broken up into 2 parts. Because the first part was done, and then, right, people who had the free subscription, well, by the time the second part came out, the free subscription was up. So if you wanted to keep watching, you had to actually pay for it. Right, streaming services do shit like this all the time. But yeah, and I don't think, unlike right, another reason why I hope this isn't doomed is because what killed Rooster Teeth was nothing they were actually doing. What killed well, okay, yes, there were some controversies, and those were all their fault. And yeah, they shouldn't get away scot-free for that. But what helped kill Rooster Teeth was the fact that they were owned by Warner Brothers. That was their biggest fuck-up. That's what almost killed Smosh as well. Is right, they were owned by some other company that almost shut them down until Rhett and Link stepped in to buy them back. Right? I think the takeaway here is just don't go big, right? Don't get a parent company. Whether that be Warner Brothers, or, you know, some random investing company, or like Maker Studios had Disney. Machinima was destroyed by Warner Brothers and AT&T, but again, they kind of merged. Right, the big fuck up is I know College Humor spent like 4 years building their platform. And yeah, it was not always an easy 4 year. I was definitely not subscribed for the first like 2 of those, but they built it up. And I think if the Try Guys do this right, in 2 years, I think they will have a good service. They might even have an okay service now. But I get it. I get why they're doing it. I would rather have them stay independent than get bought out by Disney or go back to fucking BuzzFeed or something like that. Because they already got out of BuzzFeed's, right, shadow. Smosh, right? You want to know another one? I would not be surprised if Smosh is working on something similar as well. Smosh has seen great success since they've gone independent again. And I know they've been utilizing YouTube membership instead of like a Patreon. They've been using the one built into YouTube. And you know, if that's working good for them, good for them. But if they do decide to go independent and make like the Smosh Pit streaming service, that would not surprise me. That would not surprise me at all. I could see, the other company I could see doing the same thing? Yogscast. I know Yogscast has been having a lot of great success. They're doing a whole camping adventure thing right now, which seems like it's... I've been kind of getting into Yogscast again recently. I've been watching their, what's it called? Not Drawn to Life. They've been doing like these building things where they're passing it, where like one person writes the prompt, then the other person, draws it or builds it, and they do like 3 rounds. I've been watching that series, and it's been a lot of fun, It's been very entertaining. So I could also see Yogscast doing something like that. I think Smosh would be the one to do it first. But Yogscast, I think, there's this... So when Baltro was getting real popular a little while ago, there was all this talk about, when that game Baltro was getting popular, right? And it's like the solitaire, or it's poker, right? It's like a poker roguelike. I was like, this looks kind of familiar. Because there was a Pokemon, not a Pokemon, there was a poker roguelite I remember seeing, but it had like, you'd get like a social security card. You'd get a Charizard. You'd get a card from Slay the Spire. And at first I thought that was Baltro. No, they're actually two different games. But the other game I was thinking of is now being published by Yogscast. Plate Up, that roguelite Overcooked. Guess what? That's also published by Yogscast. Right? Right? I know what we all talk about Donkey's publishing house and its big success this year, right? Big Mode's big success this year in Animal Well. But yeah, Yogscast also has a publishing house that's been putting out some good games. So I want to find the name of this game real quick. Yogscast. Come on, what the fuck was it called? Come on, tell me what the fuck it was called. Dungeons and Degenerates Gambler. Yeah, Dungeons and Degenerates Gamblers is the name of it. And I remember seeing this game a few months ago and being like, oh yeah, this looks very fun. I can't wait for this to come to Switch one day. And now it might be coming to Switch through Yogscast, because Plate Up came to Switch through the Yogscast. I know Rooster Teeth also tried publishing games. I think they did the Switch port for Bendy and the Ink Machine, but let's not talk about that. So yeah. But I've also heard Baltro was really good. Like, I may have bought it and just haven't played it yet, but I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, so, I'll add it to the pile. Now, I'll add it to the pile up there with Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario RPG, and now Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door Remake. Fuck, the backlog is getting pretty big. But no, I just keep playing Pikmin again. Fuck me. Oh, I did forget to mention, I replayed Pikmin 1. It took me like 2 hours to beat the game. Still really good. Pikmin 1 is still really good. I was thinking about doing Pikmin 2, and then I was like, nah, I think I'm just going to skip to 3. So that's the Try Guys talking about that for fucking like 20 minutes. I did not mean to talk about that for that long. Oh, other video, they did one about Bye Eugene. I think the video might have been called The Bye Guys. Like BYE Guys. That's very fucking funny. But it was a very good video, right? It starts off very serious, then it gets lighthearted and funny, right? Wondering now that Eugene's gone, who's going to be the hot one, Zach or Keith? Quasi. But after that, right, it then gets serious again. And then the ending line, where it's like, I'm not leaving because of you all. I stayed because of you. Was just a perfect fucking ending line for that video. That almost got me. It's really, the Bye Eugene video is really good. I'm gonna have to watch some of those classic Try Guys videos. Right now that I have the streaming service, one of the first categories on the streaming service, I think it's called like popular videos, or it's called Try Guys Greatest Hits. And right, it's got the Beetlejuice audition, perform on Broadway, Try Guys test a drunk obstacle course, test a high obstacle course, make a 5-star something or other, get lasered. It's got a bunch of their greatest hits that, as someone who has not watched them very much, that is a fantastic category. Good on them for starting off with a great for putting that in there. Because I'm sure there are some people who have not been, right, who are, relatively new like me. Because I've been seeing this all over the place, right? I guess it's now that I'm in these circles, it just makes me a part, right, that I'm seeing it more now. Because I kind of feel like that's how it works sometimes. But yeah. Maybe I'll really like the Try Guys, Now that Rooster Teeth's dead, I guess I need to replace them with something. So, the other thing, I read 2 books. I read Sid Meier, I don't remember what's the book called. Sid Meier. It's not Sid Meier's Civilizations. It was Sid Meier's. Oh, it's just called Sid Meier's Memoir. Right. I read Sid Meier's Memoir. It's an autobiography, right? Him talking about his life, all the game. It's broken up by like the games he made, right? So it's like, oh, in this year I made these games, and this year I made these games. So that was one book I read, and then the other book I read was So I'll be honest, I listened to the Sid Meier one. I was going to buy it because I saw it was on sale on Amazon. I saw it. I think Wario64 tweeted about it. And I was like, oh, I'll check that out. Oh, that sounds interesting. I love me some Civilization. And then when I went to buy it on Amazon, I saw it was free in my Audible subscription. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'll just download that then. And I listened to the entire book in a day. Like, seriously, I just kind of binged through it while at work. And it was really good. And then the other one I actually read, I've been reading, is, so there's the Satoru Iwata, right, former president of Nintendo, has the book called Ask Iwata. But last year, I want to say his name is Lucas Thompson, over at Nintendo Force. He put out a book called, The Impact of Iwata, right, which talks about, right, it's kind of, right, goes over the games he made, because it's also kind of broken up by game and, like, major event. And it just kind of goes through his life and talks about his impact. And so for the past, like, 2 weeks, I have been actually reading that one. I don't know if it has an audiobook. I'll be honest, I didn't check. But I was like, yeah, I'll read it, because I liked Ask Iwata. Ask Iwata, I've read, like, 3 times. Which is strange, because the book only came out, like, 3 years ago. It came out in, like, 2021. I have not read it this year. So, but I was like, oh, that'll be an interesting book. It'll make me cry. It did make me cry. So I guess let's talk about the Sid Meier one first. The Sid Meier one did not make me cry, but I found it real fascinating. The one commonality I kind of notice, and I don't know if this is true for every starting game dev, but does every game dev just start off by copying other people's games? Like, does everyone who's trying to get into indie games nowadays just, like, run some tests by making a Mario clone or a Zelda clone or something like that? Because I listened to both Sid Meier's and the Iwata book, and they both start off by making clones of, like, classic arcade games. Be that, right, in Iwata's case, it was, like, Joust. In Sid Meier's case, it was, like, not Battleship, Galaga, Galaxy Star. It was some arcade games, right? That was where he started, like, programming his, like, own arcade games. And it's like, that thing is basically copying arcade games, the indie game equivalent of drawing, like, anime characters in your school notebook until you eventually develop your own art style. Because that's kind of what it feels like. I know 2 data points is not a trend, but it's just kind of weird, right? It's weird that it happened twice in 1 week. But yeah, no, so, right, he goes through that. He talks about the first company that he was in Vegas, right? He met this guy. They talked about video games, and he was like, oh yeah, we're going to make a game. And he basically, on a dare in Vegas at CES, they end up making their first game. He makes some flight sims, because this guy was big into airplanes, right? I want to say he served, I think was his name Bobby or Billy? Bill. Fuck. I don't remember, whatever his name was. He's big into planes, and they eventually buy a plane, right, as part of, like, the whole promotion thing. And, right, he's big into flight sims. Meanwhile, Sid, after doing a few of these flight sims, is like, oh, well, I want to make my own stuff, so let's make pirates. They eventually do get to the only thing I knew about Sid Meier going into this game is, right, that his name was on the box of Civilization. That's it. That's the only thing I knew about him. I didn't know anything else. Even his other games, like, the only other Sid Meier's game I knew was, I want to say, Beyond Earth. I didn't know anything else he had ever made. Right, and then the only thing about his, like, personal life in the reason why the game's called Civilization is because of Robin Williams. Or Sid Meier's Civilization. Right? That Robin Williams was like, hey, in the same way that like movie stars can copyright their brands, gamers should be able to copyright theirs. And right, he was like big into like video games being able to like copyright their brand. And he said like at like a meeting with, again, that Billy Bob guy whose name I can't remember, he was like, oh, well, you know, why don't you just put your name on, right? In the same way like someone would like put their name on it, right? Like Taylor Swift's first album is called Taylor Swift. She put her name on the front of the box. Trump's Tower is called Trump's Tower, right? Like actually Trump is kind of the perfect example of this now that I think about it, right? He puts his name on everything because, you know, he wants his name to have branding. So, right, based on that, that's where Sid Meier's Pirates comes from, and then that eventually becomes Civilization, Colonialism, whatever the other one was called. Yeah, no, I'd heard an abbreviated version of the Robin Williams story, but you know, it's still entertaining. And yeah, just listening to him talk about games, early development of his games. I loved the one where they talked about a copyright protection. How video games were, you know, they had to find ways to protect people from like sharing games. And as part of this process, that's where one of the first computer viruses came from. Was that it was copyright protection to, you know, if you guessed the password wrong, it would delete your computer. But then it kind of went out of control and started deleting everything. Right, that stuff like that was really interesting. The more he gets into games, how they kind of knew, right, they started building Civilization because their spy game was like failing and they were struggling to make it because he wasn't having fun making it. He talks a lot about how you have to like find the fun in games. Because, so there's this quote, I don't think it's from Sid Meier himself, but I know he was talking about like a puzzle game. I remember it from a Mark Brown video. But the quote is essentially, given the chance, players will optimize the fun out of a video game. It's a fantastic quote that I've reworked in recent years to be, given the chance, human beings will optimize the fun out of existence. That is a quote I stand by. Given the chance, human beings will optimize the fun out of existence. And reading his book, he very much is a believer in that idea. That, right, given a chance, gamers will optimize the fun out of a game. Because I've done that before as well. I have totally optimized the fun out of a video game before. So, and, right, you hear this as he's working on Civilization, right? He's trying to find the fun in a game, right? He's worried about stuff like that. When it comes around to making Civilization 2, I think it was 2, it might have been 3, they added a cheats menu in the game. And he was originally worried, like, oh, aren't people just going to abuse the cheat menu and optimize the fun out of Civ 2? And then when the game actually come out and people loved it, he was like, oh, wait, no, I was completely wrong, right? Players didn't optimize the fun out of the game. Instead, they basically created mods and found their own fun. Because that was a thing I noticed a lot in the book, is he'll make some sort of, like, prediction, and then he'll just be completely wrong. Like, he was like, oh, nobody's going to want a cheat menu, they'll optimize the fun out of the game. Completely wrong, people love it, people love making mods. Oh, nobody cares about 3D graphics. 3D graphics are just a flash in the pants, they don't even look that good. Meanwhile, all of his employees are like, yeah, Sid, whatever you say. I guess we won't do 3D graphics for this game, but maybe next time. Or it was something like that. Oh, hey, they asked him, hey, Sid, what's going to be the next big video game console? Oh, I think it's going to be the 3DO. That's why I'm developing this Sid Meier's Bach for it. Oh, wow, that game's super underperformed? Holy shit. Right? It's a lot of stuff like that. Like, he made some good games, and he made some bad ones as well. And he's fully willing to admit, like, yeah, he made some stinkers. But there was this, like, recurring pattern of him, like, just looking back and realizing, like, oh, shit, I got all these things. All right, I would make a prediction about the games industry and just get completely wrong. Of course, not everything he got wrong. He talks about, right, how he made a game on mobile, and the first game he made had, like, microtransactions in it. And he was like, and technically he was like, yeah, this is how mobile games work nowadays. I'll put microtransactions in it. But it wasn't as fun as he wanted it to be. So when that mobile game got a sequel, he just made it a one-time purchase. Because while yes, microtransactions were the future of mobile gaming, they were just less fun than, traditionally just buying a game and getting all the content. Right? A thing that sadly doesn't exist anymore. I mean, the last mobile game I can think of that you just paid full price for and got the whole game was Super Mario Run. And that game was definitely considered a failure because it didn't make $1 billion. Unlike fucking Candy Crunch. Yeah, there's a bunch of shit like that. He talks about Game Jam. He was invited to the Unity of... His son is attending the University of Michigan. And he got invited by his son to go to the... Because I think his son also studies games. And he gets invited to, attend their game... They're doing a Game Jam. And he gets invited as, the guest judge. And he's like, yeah, okay, son, sure, I'll do that. And then he, researches game jams. And he's like, son, I don't want to judge anymore. I want to compete. So, yeah, he ends up competing in their game jam. And that's a lot of fun. And, interspersed throughout this, there's, a bunch of life stuff and whatnot. He has a wife, he has kids, he gets divorced. Yeah, it's all just real interesting. Again, there's the whole bit with the plane where they buy a plane to promote their flight simulators. And he never actually rode in the plane, but even to this, the book was published in 2020. So of course things could have changed in the past 4 years. But right, the plane is still in use today. It's at a flight school in Seattle nowadays. And that's interesting. I was like, oh, that's neat. Right, it's little shit like that it was, it took me, it was a 7-hour book. It was pretty short. I know books, listen, it's pretty short comparative, right? It's not the fucking Way of Kings that's 45 hours. I was able to listen to the entire thing in a single day. I was really I was interested, I was invested, I had a good time with it. If you have the Audible subscription that gets it to you for free, easy recommendation. Right, again, it was a quick read, easy recommendation. If not, I guess I could see it being worth a credit. Again, I also think it was on sale on Amazon for $10. I would have easily paid $10 for it, yeah. So that was the first book I read. The second book, Iwata, it's not a biography, right? I feel like the Ask Iwata book goes more into, his life, what he did... Right, it goes through a bunch of his Ask Iwata segments. The impact of Iwata was more about, okay, it went game by game, and instead looked at how Iwata made that game possible. Right, the two most famous stories that most people know nowadays are the Pokemon Gold and Silver one, and the, Earthbound one. Right, the Pokemon Gold and Silver one, he took Pokemon Gold and Silver, and he was able to go in, clean it up, optimize it, and make it possible for them to add Kanto back, right? Instead of it just being Johto, they also were able to add back Kanto. And they go into that. They also go into how he helped clean up the game in order to do the localization, so that way they could translate the game to English. They talk about that, how he made that possible. Because, yeah, I guess Pokemon... Because Pokemon was a game that was in development for, 6 years. And I guess it used a lot of, spaghetti code. And it was, a real fucking mess when it shipped. So, right, he went in and he, straightened a lot of it out. He made it easier to translate. So, right, that was that story. And then the other story that people, kind of know, the other famous one, is Earthbound, right? After the original Mother came out... And, it did okay in Japan, and then they were going to port it to the US, but they ended up canceling it. Kind of like Star Fox 2, where they canceled it because of the Super Nintendo coming out, whereas, right, they canceled Star Fox 2 because the N64 coming out. Kind of the same scenario there. But, right, after making Mother 1, or Earthbound Beginnings here in the States... They ended up, Iwata told Itoei to be like, hey, well, why don't you start working with the SNES and start making, a sequel? But then they worked on it for 4 years. And by the end of those 4 years, it just wasn't coming together. So Itoei went to Miyamoto. And Miyamoto was like, no, go ask Iwata. He'll know how to do this. So he did, and Iwata was like, okay, we can either continue with what you have, and we'll finish the game in 2 years, or we can restart everything, throw all the code out, and start a brand new, and we'll be done in 6 months. And he chose option 2, and the game released a year later. So yeah, no, so those are the 2 most famous stories, but there's a bunch of other ones I didn't know. Like, okay, I know Iwata worked on Balloon Fight, right? That's another famous one. I did not know that the code he made for Balloon Fight was later reworked into the swimming mechanics in the original Super Mario Brothers. That, right, he explained to one of the programmers of Super Mario Brothers, this is, right, like, oh, because Balloon Fight is famous for its, like, real precise controls. So he just took that and, right, he explained, like, oh, this is how I did it. And then the programmers for Super Mario Brothers just took that, and that's how they programmed swimming in the game. I had no idea that, I'd never heard that story before. So, yeah, so Mario games having good water levels, that's kind of thanks to him. I mean, right, the game, and one of the important things about the book, right, it's called The Impact of Iwata. Because it's not just about the games he worked on. It's how those games impact the people. Because where Ask Iwata is written more as like a biography, right? Someone telling us about Iwata's life. The Impact of Iwata is more written as like a gamer's perspective. I'm not going to use gamer's TM. But it's written as someone who enjoyed the games he made, recounting his life, and both how impactful those games are, but how they impacted other games as well. Right? So he points out, like, oh, the golf game on the NES, right? The whole mechanic of you hit the button to, pull the golf club back, you hit the button again to mark the power, and then you hit it a third time once it swings back to get accuracy. Yeah, that comes from NES Golf. And nowadays, most golf games are based on that mechanic, created by Iwata on NES Golf. And they talk about a lot of shit like that, right? That, oh, because of the work he did on this game, it made all of these other games possible, right? Like the water level one, right? All water levels in some way owe success to Iwata, right? Getting this code done for Joust, or Balloon Fight, which again was based on Joust. Or, right, how he made N1 Racer, or whatever it was called. Right, he made a racing game on the NES. And you can see elements of that racing game in, right, Mario Kart, like Super Mario Kart, and F-Zero. How that's super influential for future Nintendo games. Pinball. They were still using the same code that he made for NES Pinball on Pokemon Pinball. Almost 20 years later. Okay, 15 years later. But still, right, that same code proved just as valuable because it just worked really well. So all of that was, right, it takes, like, what is the legacy? And along the way, you get a bunch of, like, there are these, like, breaks in the book where, you see all the games that were inspired by him, all the moments that were inspired by Iwata, but also you have people, like, there are these, like, side columns that are like, oh yeah, this is how Iwata's, inspired me based on this game. Like, oh yeah, this is how, like, Andre Seegers is one of the first one. And he was like, oh yeah, this is how, Mario Pinball, or the original NES Pinball is so well done. And, right, how that inspired me. Derek Bittner is another one, right? I think he talks about Dragon Quest. Ant Dude, Shizzes, the Boundary Break guy, whose name I'm definitely mispronouncing. Right? A lot of these, like, famous YouTubers and whatnot have these important moments. Etika doesn't have a part in the book, but he's referenced because, right, they're talking about Nintendo Directs and how ahead of the time Iwata was for creating the Nintendo Direct, and how, right, reaction culture is such a big thing. Right, like, they talk about how Nintendo Directs are basically like holidays, and, right, how everyone gathers around to see what Nintendo's gonna do, and, they're these unfiltered hype machines. right? Like, he mentions, like, how, oh, he was a big fan of some game, and then once Nintendo Direct started happening, I want to say he mentions Dragon Quest. He's like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Dragon Quest, but once Nintendo Direct started happening, I realized, like, I'm not even in, like, the top 100 Dragon Quest fans, seeing all these reaction videos. And yeah, you know, it's all really good. And then you get into the final chapter, like, chapter or two, where they talk about Iwata's passing, and, you know, just how people reacted to it, how people paid tribute to it, how, right, even in other Nintendo games, the Super Mario Brothers movie, all of them have these moments that are remembering former President Satoru Iwata. And I fucking cried. I'm starting to tear up right now just talking about it. Because, you know, I'll be honest, when it comes to celebrity deaths, most of the time, I don't really care. Yes, it's a person's death, it's sad, but I didn't know them. I had no connection to this person. But Iwata is the only exception to that. He's not forever, obviously. Like, I'm sure as, you know, as people get older, and, like, a lot of the people, you know, I love start passing away. I'm talking about, like, celebrities and influencers. Family members, whole different story. Right? When, like, celebrities and influencers start passing away, I'm sure that'll get to me eventually. I'm sure in a few years when, like, Mark Hamill passes away, yeah, I'm gonna cry. When Miyamoto eventually passes away, yeah, that's gonna make me cry. Jack Black. But Iwata's, like, right, he's the one who, like, really gets to me, and that just, it made me cry, man. That I was just tearing up through the entire final chapter. It was really good. I do right, it's the impact of Iwata. I don't know if there's an audiobook, but I bought it on Amazon, like a few weeks ago. And yeah, it was really good. I think I bought it on Amazon, or did I buy it through Fangamer? I'm gonna say I think I bought it through Amazon, but honestly, I don't remember. I know there was one book I bought through, like, one of those weird websites. It might have been Fangamer, the Yeti, or something like that. I don't remember. Either way, it's good. If you've read Ask Iwata, this is a good, right, follow-up to that. Right. If you've never read either of them, I recommend them both highly. Would I recommend Ask Iwata more? I definitely feel like this book is more approachable than Ask Iwata. Like, the way it explains things is pretty well, right? It feels more, like, approachable. It lays its groundworks really well. Whereas, you know, right, I feel like this one has more broad appeal, whereas Ask Iwata is more of a biography. I'd say Ask Iwata is the better book, but I'd recommend them both, honestly. And yeah, they're great. They're great. Iwata was... I've been saying for the past few months that the only heroes you are allowed to have are either fictional or dead. And Iwata sadly falls into category 2. And yeah, no, I would say Iwata, right, he was the one good video game CEO. And in these days where companies are firing thousands of employees just to maintain the bottom line, Iwata is the one man who came out and realized that, no, if you fire employees, then they're going to be more, right? The remaining employees are going to be more worried about their job security, and they're not going to perform as well. So instead, he took a pay cut, which, again, is unheard of nowadays. Right? Bobby Kotick would rather murder 1,000 people than lose 1 penny from his billions. And that's what made Iwata the last great CEO. I know he was the president, but, you know, same idea. Right? Like, Microsoft just shut down 2 studios. One for failing to meet goals with a game, the other for succeeding. And it's again, this is why I kind of hope Devolver does a big bit about just hiring a bunch of people instead of firing them. That would be very fucking funny. But no, Iwata was a great man. He was a great man, and truly honored. I gotta read Reggie's book, Disrupting the Game. I also do have that on Audible, and I just haven't got around to reading it, but I might. You know, I seem to be on a gaming memoir right now, right? A gaming memoir kick. So I feel like that's the next one, because I do not want to read John Romero's fucking Doom book. I think it's John Romero who did that Doom book. I do not give a shit about that. So yeah, anything, we're gonna finish this match and then we're gonna do marbles. Anything else I gotta talk about? No, not really. Yeah, I didn't watch any movies, no TV shows. Oh, food stuff. Did I try any foodstuffs? No, I got another one of those orange creamsicle slushes from Sonic. I still do really enjoy those. Those are still really good, by the way. By the by. Oh, Marble League. There we go. Ooh, that was loud in my ear. Alright, let's go get our trophy real quick. What do you got for me? It's a ticket! Yay! Who cares? Alright, let's marble some League, I guess? Okay, yeah, sure, let's mute that. I want to say this is 78 through 84. I'm going to guess I'm around here. I think 85. That is very fucking loud in my ear.
The start of a brand new week. Just 15 races remaining.
Yeah.
And starts with race 85 today.
All right.
Everybody, I'm Greg Woods.
Hopefully you can hear that fine.
Down this course. Of swatters, some side to side. Ooh,
it's a little loud in my ear. Whatever.
Not sure
Fuck
what that
it.
section is, but it looks diabolical. We've got the swatter back, the battering ram. Hey, ram.
My mouth is so fucking dry. I ran out of water like an hour ago.
So I presume at least that those are magnets. There's ball bearings ready to trip. Who knows what we are about to see? I can tell you that what we see right there is a rather lonely looking starting grid, because there's just not that many teams that are left.
So we're rooting for the Raspberry Racers. The Raspberry Racers are my team. Let's go Raspberry Racers.
We're one of them. They went really high, almost back to the start-finish line. Ghost Marble has been triggered. Oceanics.
Come on. Come on, Raspberries. I still have no idea who's going to win. Again, I think I've got a good shot. I think the Bumblebees have a good shot. The O'Rangers fucking lost last week. The O'Rangers are fucking gone. Finally. I'm pretty far back, though. Yeah, no, we're dead last. Okay, second to last.
Are gonna hit that bell? Doesn't sound too bad, but look at these. When they quiver, I can imagine if you had a fuller field, that effect would be quite pronounced.
Come on.
We still may see
God, we're in dead last.
This week, however, remember, this is the Marble's first time coming down this course.
Come on. All it takes is one bad week and you're out.
Rolling
and this track feels very long.
Is through, second and third team plus the Ghost Marble back.
Come on. There, oh shit. Oh, we just rolled through that.
That gave several positions that they would not have had otherwise. Look at the
we went from last or second to last up to third. Holy shit.
Good.
That's great.
Also by the Chocolatiers, it looks
that
like.
Is great.
Yes, second.
Fuck yeah, Raspberry Racers. You got this, Resi.
The win. Raspberry Racers. They are.
And again, I think Bumblebees have a good chance of winning this whole thing. I'm gonna root for my team till the end. But if Bumblebees win, I'm not gonna be surprised. I've been saying that for weeks now. I'm amazed the Purple Rockets are still in it. I do not think very highly of the Purple Rockets. I usually also don't think very highly of the Oceanics.
Up just a bit this week. First half, at least, appears to be 13A, and presumably there will be a 13B after this one too.
All right, let's go to 36. Oh, fucking ads.
Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2, June 14th.
Tired of running out of undies 3 days after laundry day? Refresh your underwear drawer with up to 50% off on all.
Hopefully that doesn't get me banned. No, I don't care about your fucking YouTube premium. No, I actually really don't hope that gets me copyright struck. Because I know companies copyright their fucking ads.
Marble Survival 100. Hey everybody.
Come on.
4 races constitute.
Come on.
If you will, before our next elimination. That means that after these 4 races that started yesterday, the last place marble will be eliminated. That is why we talk about this as week 13A.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
There you see our current standing.
Okay, so as long as we're not last.
Got the win yesterday.
As long as we are not last.
And Raspberry Racers, it is Team Primary in last, but Mellow Yellow, Purple Rockets, basically anybody in the single digits is still in danger. There are our remaining competitors.
So it's basically every 4 races from here until the end. Somebody gets out. Of course, that's still 4 leaves us in a weird number. Because there were 15 races, but we're breaking it up by 4. So you would have 16.
I wonder what that marble thought just before they were released.
And I'll be honest, I'm really worried about this track. Because I've seen tracks like this completely. Like, I know I have not gotten completely fucked yet. But I have had some close moments in tracks like this. So I'm worried, to say the least.
Meanwhile, down at the front of the field, Mellow Yellow is caught
on
that and somehow, as it trips, they were not thrown backwards. That distinction went to the Limers. And now somehow,
I don't care about the Limers.
Team Primary have gotten in front of them. That is incredible.
I know someone who's rooting for the Limers.
Past this chute with so many of these perilous magnets and ball bearings that'll send marbles backwards. Team Primary is recovering beautifully now into 2nd place. They're trying to track down the Bumblebees. Purple Rockets on the high line. They move into 2nd place underneath the battering ram. Purple Rockets get hit backwards. Anybody else? Can't really tell there. Oh, it's a collision across the line. Team Primary somehow has come from behind.
Okay, I think we got 5th there.
Won this race in a photo finish. They've gotten 2nd place.
Yeah, I think 5th isn't bad. Not at all.
Let's take a look here. No, it wasn't as close as that other angle made it look. But what a recovery.
Yeah.
After solid hits from
yeah, you know, that's not that's still
Team Primary to net.
I mean, it's the bottom half, but
and flip the script from yesterday.
It's not that bad. Okay, the images are wrong there, but we are in 5th. They switched us up in the Limers. I've been honestly, for 100 races, they've actually been doing pretty good when it comes to the editing. I literally only feel like they've been making mistakes the past, like, 3 or so weeks. Right, and admittedly, I have not been looking at every marble, so I haven't noticed everything. But, like the marble switch-ups, I know there was one race where they played, like, the wrong opening clip or something like that. But for the most part, I feel like for 100 races, the editing has actually been pretty consistent all the way through. Yeah, I can totally give them that. I feel like the editing has been relatively consistent.
Next elimination. It'll only be 1 marble this time. However, you have half the time to make your moves. Who will do just that today? Here in race 87. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. This is the Marble Survival 100. We are nearing That 100 mark, it's in the distance. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. For some marbles, though, you only have a few races left. One of them will only have today and tomorrow. Right now, Mellow Yellow sit at the bottom of the standings. The Limers are just a couple of points clear of them. Oceanics are back there. It's Bumblebees and Team Primary leading the way, with Chocolatiers and Purple Rockets tied with Team Primary for second place. Down they come.
I don't know. It's clear that this course feels long, but there also aren't that many marbles, so places can switch very quickly. It's like, if you ever played a game of Mario Kart with, like, only 8 people, which I have, right? Instead of using NPCs, it's just been 8 of us online. You can literally go from first to last, back to first, in like 20 seconds. Like, positions change very rapidly, and that's kind of what this, like, I feel like nobody's gotten, like, so far ahead that, you know, somebody couldn't recover, and nobody's fallen so far behind. Right now, it feels like it, though. Now that I say all this, I definitely feel like the first 4 and the last 4 have a pretty big gap.
And from the Bumblebees, Team Primary.
And of course, it's the fucking Purple Rocket. It feels like it's the same teams, right? The Purple Rockets, the Team Primary, the Bumblebees, and...
Will it be triggered this time? No, it does not appear so.
Oh, we had so much momentum there at the end. Okay, we got 6. That's not great. We had a lot of momentum there.
Mellow Yellow gets the win. Officially, Slime Lime gets ahead of C.
Yeah, no, we were barreling in there, and then we got caught on.
Close. You could tell from this angle.
Yeah, so this race was definitely divided into those who were ahead and those who weren't. Wow, they got 1, 2, and 3. Okay, as long as we don't come in like last or DNF, I think we're good. We're not safe, of course, but... Yeah. Just for the... I'm covered up. I'm at 14. I'm tied with 5th.
And sometimes that's where you want to be, but when the weeks get shortened to 4 races, there's not a lot of time to think and crunch numbers. How will Slime Lime respond tomorrow? Who will find themselves eliminated just 12 races short of the Marble Survival?
God, that must suck. You know, these marbles work so hard. And then they just get eliminated here, right? 10 races to go. That must be awful. Fuck it, I don't care about your advertising. I mean, you know, I'm surprised with all these, like, alright, I'm subscribed to Try Guys, Second Try. I'm subscribed to Dropout. Right, I'm surprised I don't have YouTube, whatever. But it's just something I don't really, like, I'm not, like, super invested in it.
Before we eliminate the last place marble from the standings. Hey, everybody. I'm Greg Woods.
Even though I watch YouTube more than anything else.
Right now, a couple of teams that are feeling the heat down at the bottom of the standings. Only one team, that's the Bumblebees, are safe. But Limers are in last. Oceanics, 3 points in front of them. Raspberry Racers, a further 3 points in front of them, along with Mellow Yellow. They are all in danger. Chocolatiers, Primary, Purple Rockets, only the Bumblebees will move on to the second half of this week. But for one marble, this is their final run after an incredible number of races. Who will come up just short? And we are racing to survive.
Good start. No. It was a good start.
Oceanics, Raspberry Racers, they take the wide route to get there. Shit.
Where everyone we're getting hit and then we're bouncing back a little bit and
Team Primary, they are back there as well. Raspberry Racers work through
it's stressing me out.
Comes that very large
and I can't even change facial expressions. Like I can't even put on the angry one because fucking Steam Deck is broken. Fuck everything.
That is exactly what they need to do.
At some point, I just need to use an actual freaking VTuber program.
Takes a little bit longer, and just like that, they fall to
God, no!
fast right now.
No,
Raspberry
Resi!
trail everybody
No,
else.
Resi!
They're in the hunt for the win here. Great pathway.
Honestly, as long as the as long as the teams keep winning that keep winning,
Yellow by the Gauss arrow.
it won't fucking matter.
Slightly, it has not
Like, as long as Slimeline stays where he is, in, you know, 7th.
Will that device go off?
Resi!
Few are past. It is Raspberry Racers.
God, he's catching up to Slimeline, but not by much. Did someone get stuck there? Oh, okay. We beat Slime. I think we're safe.
And Limers will come across.
I think we're safe because Slimeline was below us and someone did get stuck. I thought someone got stuck closer to the finish line.
They are stuck in the magnet chute. And what will this do to the
I think we're fine. I think, yeah. Oh!
Primary gets stuck. Is that them on the bottom?
Is that, yeah! I was right! I did see somebody get stuck by the finish line. That sucks. That one time O-Ranger, I hate the O-Rangers, but the one time I felt bad for the O-Rangers was when they, got stuck right there by those by the little mini marble wave. Yeah, we ended up with 18. But the Limers reserve. So how many? Okay, so you got 4 more.
No further.
That takes it down. Okay, that takes it down to 6. Another 4 takes it down to.
Knocking on the door of the 90s for races.
Another 4 takes it down to. Does it go down to the top? I would assume it would go down to the top 3. But I still think that leaves us at 101, if not 102 races. Somewhere's my math isn't adding up. They might go down to just, hey, top, you know, the final, like, 3 races are just, hey, if you're last, you lose. That could, I could see things changing next week.
A 4-race elimination stretch. We're going to do that again, starting right here. 89, 90, 91, and 92.
Well, it's weird because they're doing a 4-week elimination stretch, but normally they're going from eliminating 2 racers in 7 days to now eliminating 2 racers in 6 days? Or in 8 days, I mean. They're taking an extra day to eliminate the same amount of marbles. Maybe the math just adds up better in the end, but again, I could see them doing some changes next week. God, and we're still in this track, aren't we? Fuck, I hate this track. A good, you know, honestly, if we can just get a good start, and then it falls apart near the end of the week, but no, we're already fucked. We just fell way back. Oh yes, get ahead right there. Yes, Resi, destroy your competition.
Gets around that spring. And that actually is a slower pathway.
Yeah,
Chocolatiers and the Oceanics take a different line.
We just hit up Yellow? Is that Yellow?
Down this chute of the magnets and the ball bearings. Bumblebees.
No, come on.
The swatter, they've got the lead.
I don't think we're stuck, but we definitely lost a lot there.
They take over the top spot as we come into the battering ram. Couple of nudges on it. Our first 3 or 4 are through.
Are we stuck? No, we are still moving back there. We're just in last.
Raspberry Racers come through last, and it does not appear so.
Oh my god, we took this ending is killing us. Like, the first time we got through it real quick, and every time since then. It's the second half of this race is just killing us. Fuck.
And Mellow Yellow. Bumblebees come next before
Resi,
Purple Rockets, and Raspberry Racers.
Shit.
10 points now, the max offering for those at the top.
I mean, one win can change a lot of things.
So as the points go.
Again, if I've learned anything from Mario Kart, literally if you get one, if you win once and then do bad the other 3 times, you can still win. Not always, of course. It depends on the other racers, but trust me, it's usually better to get, right, specifically in team sports, it's better to get someone in first and then have, like, the other 3 in, like, 5, 6, and 7 than it is to, like, get, like, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's weird, but the math adds up because those places are just worth so much more. All right. Yeah, give me a second. Multitasking. Okay, so I guess that takes us to the outro. Oh, I forgot to hit the thing on the marbles. Fuck. I forgot to switch over and be like, hey, we're doing marbles now. I know we did it at like 20-something. I'll have to check that later, I guess. So what's coming up in the next few weeks? I don't fucking know. Like I said, I'm busy through the end of May. And then after May, right, I have like a free week in June, basically. And then in July, I'm just, and then for, like, after that first week in June, I'm just, like, super busy again. We've just bought everything. Plankton. Oh, wait, was that law-breaking? Did we literally just get Plankton from SpongeBob? Law-breaking Plankton? Oh my glob. I don't remember ever seeing these plushes before. These Picto Octo cushions. Oh god. I had a Splatoon dream. I'll be real quick about this. I had a Splatoon dream where there were like new clothings in the shop. And I went and bought one. And I thought it was like, I think I thought it was either 4,000 or 40,000. Yeah, I think I thought it was like 40,000, and it was actually 400,000, and I just ended up spending all my money on like a shirt I didn't even like that much. I don't know why that was in a dream, but I had like, it was something. It might not have even been about Splatoon at all, but I totally think it had like something to do with like buying clothes in the store. And, like, it felt like Splatoon. I don't know. I'm fucking... Ugh. So, what's coming up in the next week? I don't know. I'm still posting Zelda videos over on TikTok. Hey, guess what? I'm actually almost out. I think I'm halfway through the series. Right? We did... it took us 20 streams to beat Breath of the Wild. I think I have like 1 or 2 more videos from stream number 10. And then after that, right, we're still not halfway. We haven't even, God, that's gonna take me the rest of the summer to get through. But I'll do it, you know, I've got nothing to lose. Because I should have done it last year, right? I should have just spent all last year uploading Zelda videos. But instead I stopped in July for some stupid reason. But yeah, I have no Twitch plans. I did have a great idea for a Twitch stream. For like a Twitch marathon stream, I had a fantastic idea the other day. Inspired by, Astral Spiff. Yeah, inspired by Astral Spiff. And, Shiver. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's how you pronounce that. Because I've been watching some Shiver backlog stuff. Like, I watched his, I've been watching some of his old movie reviews. And it's like, oh, yeah, I remember. I loved this stuff. I don't know why I ever stopped. I'm sure we disagreed on something. Because I know that's why I stopped watching Cosmonaut Variety Hour, because we completely disagreed on Civil War. Even though he's admitted that video is shit. I still think we totally agreed on it. I totally disagreed. The only time I ever considered making a response video was I watched Cosmonaut's Variety Hour's video on Civil War and was like, oh my god, this is one of the worst videos I've ever seen. I disagree with almost everything he ever says. I could write a response video to this. But by that point, the video had been out for like a month. And at that, I was like, it's just not worth it. If the video had just come out like 2 days ago, I would have totally done it. But the fact that the video was like a month old, I was like, it's not worth it. And then, yeah, I swear at some point on Twitter, I saw him say like, nope, that video was shit. You know what starts up again? Tomorrow night? I think it might be tonight, but I think it's tomorrow night. Fucking My Adventures with Superman. My Adventures with Superman was fantastic. I absolutely loved the first season. One of the best Superman shows. It's not only one of the best Superman shows. I think it's one of the best takes on Superman in live action that we are in, in television and movies. Let's not say live action. It's one of the best non-comic book takes on Superman since probably the animated series. I don't know, man. Every once in a while, you know how you see all those clips from Young Sheldon on TikTok, and they kind of start like brainwashing you into thinking that Young Sheldon might not be a bad show? That's kind of how I feel about Superman and Lois. Every time I see a clip from that show, it starts like tricking me to realize like, you know what, this might not be a bad show. But I don't plan on watching it anytime soon. Especially because I don't remember because I know a bunch of those CW shows got canceled right before their season finale. Like, they needed just, like, one more season. Like, I think it was DC Legends of Tomorrow got canceled when they were supposed to have, like, one more season, and that just fucked them over. Yeah. That happens a lot with DC, and it fucking sucks, man. I know it's all Warner Brothers. Again, this is why you never sell to a big corporation, because they will just fuck you over and cancel you. But yeah, there are so many shows I still need to watch X-Men 97. I have not been I literally it's like Andor, man, right? Like, I hear every good thing about it every week, how great it is, and I'm like, I'll get around to it eventually. There's the Shea Friller's video. I've been watching a lot of his Star Wars stuff. I disagree with him on Last Jedi, but I totally agree with him on Force Awakens. Or Rise of Skywalker, I mean. That movie, a lot of people say that Last Jedi killed Star Wars. It did not. Rise of Skywalker killed Star Wars. Because I have not wanted to watch a single Star Wars movie, show, game, anything since then. Fucking Rise of Skywalker is one of the worst pieces of shit ever. I love The Last Jedi. Genuinely top 3 Star Wars movies. It's so fucking good. I'll defend it from here to high heaven. But no, Rise of Skywalker can fucking burn in hell. And maybe that would be too kind. So yeah, we'll be back next week. More Splatoon. Maybe I'll have played Paper Mario. Maybe I'm not good with RPGs. You never know, right? So until then, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.